Whoa, she's gonna come down. That's called beating the rain. Well, yesterday a guy dropped off this Johnson. Got another one of these Johnsons. Wanting to rain again. Rain's killing me. Not sure what year. I was gonna look and see what the tag says. If they got the tag. I don't see the tag. Oh, there it is. And what we got? 25R71S. It's probably, I don't, one of these tells the year, I forget. Sorry, 25R71S. Have to look up the year. Always forget. But at least he's got all the parts and pieces. What he told me it was doing was it only run with the choke open, and there was a lot of evidence on the lower unit where it was running super rich. Pull the plugs, they were good. They looked like they were fairly new-ish. I connected up the fuel line, and obviously it's kind of not right because this fuel line, anyway, it's probably good coming out of the engine here. He found this somebody found this smaller fuel line to get in the engine. Maybe put a pull this over here and tie wrap it to here and put a little filter, because there's no fuel filter. There is one in the fuel pump, but I like to put an extra little filter there. But anyway, I think what we want to do, he didn't know how to get the top off, which is kind of interesting, but he said it had been rebuilt just a few years ago or something. Initially, yesterday I wasn't doing anything, so I pulled the carb off and just check it, and they had the float upside down, so I thought, oh, maybe this is just to fix it, you know, but it still wouldn't start. It was like it wanted to start, but it didn't. I don't know if you guys can really see this or not. See this right here? Somebody put a whole bunch of like JB Weld here, and forget where it's at. There's another place where they had a bunch of that JB Weld, so I think was a Welch plug. Maybe they sealed it, I'm not sure. Looked at an old carburetor, but because you never remember, but kind of sprayed it out. It looked really clean inside, so like you'd been running some pretty good fuel. Tried to start it, of course it wouldn't start, so kind of got me to thinking that maybe just do like we should do and do our normal tests for compression and spark. So I'm gonna pull this recoil off so I can put my drill up there, compression gauge in, and my spark checker. I can do that all at once. It won't take very long. Shot some other video of that. I mean, the fuel pump looks pretty new. I mean, I guess we could look at that, but seems to be pumping gas, so Not sure exactly what's going on just yet. And this one's got the recoil stop, so you may have to take all this off, which I don't like, but it is what it is. But anyway, got that one in, and try to figure out what's going on with it. See if we can't get it running. But you can see, like, this, I filled up this little tub because these got to be submerged to see if we got, you know, if we're pumping, if the water pump is working, if we're getting it through the thermostat. If it's got a thermostat in it, they were known to take a lot of these thermostats out. And I do notice here, well, it's nothing, just where maybe it got hot, but I don't know. He said something about it. He heard it pop, but I don't see any evidence of that. Any damage anywhere, I can't see of anything. I mean, it's shifting just fine. The ignition plate seems to be moving fine. You know, maybe we need to see if we got spark. We got decent spark. This one has the number 1 with the little tab. So this is a good one because everything is there. The last couple I did had like little missing pieces. They did do a mod here. I don't know why they did that. Usually your oiler line comes from another location. Shouldn't hurt anything, but I don't remember where the other location used to go. Seems to be okay. You know, we can, if it's not getting spark, we can disconnect our, you know, our stop switch. I'll just put a meter on it real quick and just make sure we're getting continuity through there. Make sure that switch is good. And like all of them, seems to be, it's a little clean, but it does need to be cleaned up. We'll clean it up. And, you know, I mean, this seems to be working. Maybe oil it a little, grease it up. I did make sure that, you know, like I adjusted this. I mean, I could go back, you know, again, like there's those 2 little notches. That's usually where you're at start. So I mean, all that seemed to be right. You know, I don't know, we may have to just check our butterfly in there, make sure that it's closed again, and then make sure it's open. The only way to really do that is take your air idle needle valve out, and then the bottom is always generally is fixed. Really old ones will have one where you can adjust it, but this should be 1.5 turns from lightly seated. I don't know where I'm at right now. Let's just do that. So that's all the way closed. So there's 1 turn. That should be where it should start, which seems to me like maybe this is not adjusted right, so that maybe we need to pull this tab off, yeah, and drop it, and then I'll just do this so that it's in a good location. So I know that's 1.5 turns, and then, you know, your rod is how you can adjust that. So it shouldn't have that much play in it. Anyway, I can fix that. So choke seems to work. It's closing the butterfly. Do that and it opens it back up. And I was out of carb spray, some B12, Berryman's B12 Chem Tool. It's really great for cleaning up all kinds of crap. And anyway, that's kind of what I'm up to this morning. And then, you know, I've got a few other jobs going on, but I thought I'd go ahead and get this one started so we can at least know what our compression and see if we got fire, because it could be an intermittent fire thing we are actually getting. We'll see what happens. You know, you got to go through sometimes you got to fix one thing in order to fix the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and it's like a little puzzle. But she's pretty cool old motor, you know, but I don't want to pull on a rope. It'd be cool if you had the old starter thing where you could put in a solenoid and a starter and just have electric start, but we'll see where this one takes us. Okay, I got my compression gauge in, the number 2, and got the recoil starter off, and got my spark checker here. Hopefully I can get this up somewhere where I can see it. Get this connected somewhere good where it get a good ground. See what that does. Yeah, we're going the right direction. That was loose. Huh. Okay. That's not even turning that. Okay. What we got going on here? Well. Well, here's where I discovered that the flywheel nut was stripped. So this may have been what my customer told me he heard a pop. I'm a betting so. Interesting. Well, that bolt is pretty much shot. I think I got another bolt. Let's see. That bolt is just gone. Alright, it's gonna start raining. I'm gonna try to figure out that. I had another bolt from an old engine. See that on there. And then on the bottom cylinder, what are we looking at here? Let me get this out. We got about, let's see what we got. Let's say 126. About 126, I guess. You gotta be careful with that one. Alright. Seems like I smell fuel. I did notice this boot over here is great. That one's about 128, so it's got good compression. When I pulled on the rope, it seemed like it had pretty decent compression. So I think we're gonna call that one like what, 128. And I'll take a little paint pen and mark it. Yeah, old Berryman's B12. It's like brake clean in a can for carburetors. I think sometimes you gotta kickstart them. Some of this stuff. I don't know about that. Pull oil out of there. Spray off my spark plugs. On here very stable. Okay. Well, that nut was kind of a, I don't know, a clue, if you will. Let's check and make sure we haven't sheared a flywheel key. Okay, I got a puller on this. And it doesn't take too long to do, so I thought I'd pull a carb again. So I got all that off. And then I loosened my bottom bolt just to see if it had fuel flowing through it, and which we do, but it's still real hard. So there's something going on here with either the line, or it's most likely the float. And I mean, that's what I suspect anyway. I guess for right now, figure out. So I'll take this fuel line off. The bottom here. There you go. Freaking. This carburetor, I noticed, had, this is like JB welded. If I take off the bottom of this, real quick. Well, I need to get the right screwdriver. Of course, I don't know that this is a problem, but when you see this stuff, you gotta wonder what somebody else has done. Or if it was some sort of mod that somebody, I don't know. Seems very odd. Kind of feel like This is probably a bad carburetor. I don't know this though. We had spark, and it was weird that when I got it, it's like it wanted to fire off, but then it wouldn't. And it's also weird to me that, like, I just sprayed some carb clean in there, and it didn't even fire with the carb clean, but yet I had spark. So what has happened? I don't know. So we got more than one issue, probably. So I got a puller up there because, of course, if they haven't been off in a long time, they don't want to come off, and it's fairly thin aluminum, so you don't want to really hunker down on it real hard. You crack it. But there's the bowl. I mean, I cleaned it out yesterday. The only thing I didn't check was our bottom jet. Maybe that's our problem. The bottom jet is clogged. But I don't know. So right underneath that float they took, and there should have been a Welch plug there, and they put some JV weld on that, and I guess to seal it. But then over here they would have had another, I guess, a Welch plug, and I guess they just sealed it. Is that our problem? Probably not. So then what we need to do is maybe clean that jet. I don't even have to take it out. I'm going to take a piece of guitar string and poke in there, and then I'm going to spray it with some carb spray, make sure it's clean. There we go. I think this is a G string, guitar string, which is a bigger jet than a guitar string. And then I'm just gonna spray it out. Yeah, so it's flowing out of there pretty good. The other thing that you want to check is, like, on your gasket, make sure you have this lined up so the holes line up. You know, you want it something like that. And, you know, we can see, like, this gasket, it really doesn't line up very good. It's probably enough, but it is a restriction. So I don't know if I can take like a drill bit or something, but so you can see, you know, whenever the fuel flows down that way, down this, but blow all these holes out. Yeah, I can see through the jet now. Well, I had it in the light where I could see it. It's fine. I can even fire up the, I think I'll do that. I'll fire up the compressor, go ahead and blow it out as well. Alright, we're gonna try to beat the rain. So I don't think this is getting fuel. See what happens. We got a 1.5 turns out. Well, you can see we're getting fuel. Then the other thing we need to do is I'm I'm gonna get this camera over here. I'll get rained off over here. See if we got spark. Looking for here and here. Rained pretty good. I had to stop. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. I just had my brother come out. I took the stop switch out of line and we had spark on this one, but he said we didn't have it on this one. So I changed out this boot and we'll see if I got spark now.